Live from our studio here in Kokomlemle, Accra, this is Joe News Prime. Coming up this hour, NPRA directs SSNIT to suspend the sale of 4 top hotels to our Greek Minister, Brian Achampon's hotel, the Rock City Hotel. Also, the national leadership of the National Democratic Congress has summoned its Central Regional Chairman, Dr. Richard Asedu, to appear before the Functional Executive Committee over the suspension of the NDC parliamentary candidate for Ascent Central, Nuru Shaibu Mijima, with just 5 months to the general elections. Also, the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CETAG, has withdrawn from negotiations with the government and the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, facilitated by the National Labour Commission. And preliminary data gathered by researchers show that commuters are unknowingly breathing in toxic air during rush hours, exposing them to respiratory illnesses. Well, it was an announcement that shocked the entire House, and it was out of the blue. Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin says Kwaku Kwarteng, who has chaired the powerful Finance Committee since 2021, is to be moved away from that committee. It comes after months of speculations about the Obuasi West MP, that he has drawn the anger of his MPP colleagues who have accused him of siding with the minority to block certain key government business before the Finance Committee, notably dozens of tax waivers. Listen to Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin announcing the change on the floor.
We, the majority, we have a new spokesperson on the economy. You have none. We have a new spokesperson, and very soon we are going to unveil him. We have a spokesperson on the economy. Honorable Kwaku Kwarteng is going to be our spokesperson on the economy. Yes, you don't have the new economy committee is going to be the most important committee of this house. In this new standing of this, Mr. Speaker, we have a finance committee and an economy committee. I'm just informing you, Mr. Speaker, this is just by the way. But it's okay. I'm just informing them.
The committees have not been.
Mr. Speaker, I'm letting them know of some of the proactive steps we are taking on this side of the house to throw a serious challenge that is not just about governance. We have a new economy committee.
Honourable members, is the leader of the house who is speaking. Yeah. Please allow him. Afterwards, I'll give you the opportunity.
It's going to be the most important committee in this house. So we are challenging you. We are challenging you to come up with your spokesperson on the economy. You have not said so officially. We are going to make sure we have a spokesperson on the economy to challenge your Agudongo. We are going to, Honorable Kwaku Kwarteng is now going to face you directly on the economy. Not now. I'm just announcing. Yes, that is why we are now going to make Honorable Kwaku Kwarteng the chair of the economy committee.
But the minority who had already been alleging there was a plot to remove Kwaku Kwarteng have described the change as an overthrow. Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boa is Deputy Minority Leader. Welcome back. Now, it is emerging that the National Pensions Regulatory Authority, NPRA, has directed the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SSNIT, to suspend the sale of 4 top hotels, which includes Labadi Beach Resort to our Greek Minister, Brian Achampon's hotel, the Rock City. Now, this is contained in a letter to SSNIT, and my colleague, Kwaku Asante, joins me in studio with details of this letter. Kwaku, what are the details of this particular letter?
This is coming in just this evening from National Pensions Regulatory Authority. They have the statutory responsibility of overseeing pensions in the country, and they've sent this letter to SSNIT, asking them to suspend this contract up until certain details are cleared before they may give them the go ahead, or probably ask them to put it on hold completely. Let me read from this letter. It says, in assisting the authority to have a better understanding of the facts associated with the sale and pending negotiations to engage Rock City Hotels Limited as a strategic investor, you and your team appeared before the board of the authority at the meeting held on Tuesday, 25th June, and to further provide insights on the subject, albeit inconclusive. The authority appreciates the efforts and commitment demonstrated so far by your good self and your team to assist us make the necessary determination on the matter pursuant to our action under Section 7G of the National Pensions Act 2008. As you may be aware, Section 67(2) of the Act requires us to issue relevant guidelines to guide your investment decisions. In furtherance to this, and this is bold in this letter, you are hereby directed by the board of the authority to suspend all the processes seeking to engage Rock City Hotel Limited as a strategic investor in matter of the sale of the above mentioned hotels. So, Kwaku Black are getting some victory for the start because the NPRA is simply asking SSNIT not to go ahead with this sale up until certain details are cleared. Bruce.
Okay, interesting. But let's bring on board one person who's been at the forefront of this particular struggle to ensure that the hotels are not sold. Kwaku Kwarteng is joining us via phone here. Grateful for joining us. Now, this, of course, is a victory for you, but it's about suspension. It's not an outright cancellation of the deal. Does it fulfill your expectations before you began this particular campaign?
Well, thank you very much. Good evening. It is a victory for the Ghanaian people. It is not a personal victory. It's not a victory for me. It is a victory for all Ghanaian workers. It is a victory for the thousands who counted, who participated in the Hans demonstration last, and it is a victory for all patriotic Ghanaians who have resisted this sale. We want to also stress that this is only an initial victory. And so we are not going to take our eyes off the ball or relax and drop the resistance. We will not do that, because what if after a few days the suspension is lifted and the sale go ahead? We are agitating for a cancellation, an outright cancellation, because this deal is not in the national interest. It is a conflict of interest transaction. It is a transaction which violates Article 284, Article 78, Article 98 of the Constitution. It's a transaction which violates our procurement laws, violates our Income Tax Act. It is a transaction which does not guarantee value for money. If you compare the buyer, Rock City, and a hotel like Labadi Beach Hotel, it should have been the other way around. Labadi Beach Hotel is far more profitable than Rock City. Who wants to sell a profitable state asset and you're selling that to a cabinet minister? Everything is wrong about this transaction. And that is why we rose up to fight this transaction, and we are glad that we have an initial victory now. It is only initial. We are going to continue the resistance until we get a clear message that this deal is totally out of the window and government will not proceed with it.
Will you follow through with your planned demonstrations, especially that of the Central Region, because you mentioned that plans were underway for that one?
We will not take it off the table. I will continue with the engagements with the chiefs and people of the Central Region. We'll also continue to engage with organized labor. The other matters we are going to continue to pursue include the petition at Shraj. We will not withdraw that petition. We will continue to cooperate with Shraj to get to the bottom of our conflict of interest petition. Then we are also going to continue to expedite work on the private members' bill, banning all politicians from purchasing state assets. We think that we need to end this canker once and for all. So all of the work that we have been pursuing since this scandal broke, we are going to continue. This NPRA message, even though it gives us some initial respite, it is not going to, if you like, douse us and make us go to bed. There is still a lot of work to be done, and we will continue with that work.
Okay, grateful to you, Sammy Okudzeto, there for joining. Now, to other stories, the College of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CETAG, says it has withdrawn from negotiations with the government and the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, facilitated by the National Labour Commission, the NLC. Now, this decision comes after the employers reportedly missed their scheduled appearance in court on Thursday, 14 days into a strike by CETAG. The association has expressed deep concern about what leadership perceives to be a calculated disregard for their grievances following numerous adjourned meetings, compelling them to abandon conciliatory measures. Now, first, take a listen to President of CETAG, Prince Obeyhima, expressing his disappointment in the government's failure to appear before court.
We were at the National Labour Commission following the orders that they gave, or directive they gave last week when we appeared before them. We were supposed to have appeared before the commission yesterday on the back of that meeting, so that apparently what they had said, that they were taking the employer to court for failing to comply with their arbitral award for over a year, so that they will bring to the court or tender it in court evidence of having complied in writing. And then consequently the NLC will meet CETAG and then the employer a day after, that was yesterday, to be able to give it to us. What happened yesterday was unfortunate in the history of Ghana, where the NLC went to court, had filed a case, had duly notified the employer, but the employer failed to show up in court on Wednesday. That was what happened. So what it implies is that the employer did not even go to court, let alone send any documentary proof of having complied to the court. So the NLC yesterday practically had nothing to give it to us.
Meanwhile, there is heightened concern on the possible suspension of examinations in some colleges of education in the Ashanti region amid the ongoing strike. My colleague Nana Boachi Yadom visited some schools and joins me live via Zoom now. So what have the students been telling you, Nana?
Well, Kojo, in our engagement with these students at some of the colleges of education that we visited today, especially with the St. Louis College of Education and the Wesley College of Education, the students are calling on CETAG to call off the strike. Now, their major concern is with their examination. Most of them are raising concerns with regards to their examination, which is supposed to happen in some 2 weeks, but then due to the strike, would have to be on hold. Their concern is that the College of Education Teachers Association, CETAG, should call off the strike so that they can have ample time to prepare and study for their exam, especially final year students who would be completing school this year.
Okay. Now, you've also been interacting with administration in these schools. What have they also been telling you?
Well, they also share the same concerns with the students. The administration would have to bear the burden of bringing out a timetable for these students to have their independent studies. And also when it comes to matters of examination, they would have to draw a new academic calendar, whereas they can factor in the examination period for these students. It has become a burden for both the administration and the students themselves. Well, when we spoke to these administrators, they do complain about having locking the classrooms, whereas these students will not have access to them for their studies, considering the fact that CETAG is on strike. And so now a new roadmap would have to be drawn with regards to academic activities, especially a timetable for examination.
You've also been interacting with the local chapter of CETAG. What are their concerns?
Now, the local chapter was looking up to their national body to come out with a directive as to whether or not to call off the strike and partake in academic activities or not. But then, as of yesterday, leadership of CETAG appeared before the NLC, and then we are being told that their employers failed to appear before court, and so they have no other choice than to continue with the strike, whereby they are even forced to call off any form of negotiation with NLC, Fair Wages Commission, and then the employers. And so the local chapter say that they would have to also go by the directive from their leadership, which is to continue with the strike. Up until that is done, up until that is called off by leadership, they would have no other choice than to stay away from any further academic activity. And I'm
grateful to you for joining us. So he is my colleague in Kumasi there. Away from that, the national leadership of the National Democratic Congress has summoned its regional chairman, Dr. Richard Asiedu, to appear before the functional executive committee over the suspension of the NDC parliamentary candidate for Asin Central, Nurun Shaibu Mijima. In a statement, Central Regional Secretariat of the NDC today announced that it was withdrawing Nurun Shaibu Mijima as the party's Asin Central parliamentary candidate for for the 2024 general elections for misconduct and after several complaints filed against him. We'll hear from the national leadership shortly. First, listen to some protesters who poured onto the street calling for Nurun Shaibu to be reinstated.
Enye ni pamelu dia eni si ye nyina ya dia asem na o mu che na sere eni abasa e de to yam papa ne so no me mi si ni gyina ya si nipi se asem no ya konko mu ya hwehwem enye no kre
not 5 months ago.
So their point basically is the fact that they also have followed the issue and they don't think that there's anything in it, and they are warning that without the parliamentary candidate, they will also be forced to look elsewhere. The young man there was questioning why are they taking that decision 5 months to elections. But we've now been joined on the line by the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Gbande. He's joining us via Zoom now. Mustafa, grateful for joining. Now, we understand that the National Party has taken a decision on the back of this decision by the regional secretariat. What's the decision of the National Council?
Thank you very much. Basically, we saw a letter from the region only yesterday, communicating that decision at their level, involving Medima, who is the parliamentary candidate for Asen Central. Now, the issues are that the regional leadership has limitation as to what orders or what decisions they can take. So once it has come to our notice, the General Secretary believes that there are issues or matters that are within the jurisdiction of the National Executive Committee. And so therefore, we needed to invite the leadership of the region to appear before the committee or the body to explain in better particulars as to what would have informed them to take that decision. Okay. Actually, procedurally, the region doesn't have the power to sanction a member of parliament or a parliamentary candidate. These are matters that rest solely under the authority of the National Executive Committee. And so that is why we are looking into the issue. Okay. Be it as it may, we are not even going into whether there was a legitimate complaint of a wrongdoing or some misconduct that, brushes the law of the party. But once the decision procedurally is wrong, there's a need for National Executive Committee come into it and to deal with the issues as it had to be.
So as it stands now, is it that the PC has been reinstated by the National Executive Council?
Well, we would wait until Tuesday. I believe that the decision by the Regional Executive Committee is fully of no effect. It offends fundamentally the Constitution of NDC. Okay. To matters of candidates and members of parliament, a regional secretary cannot sanction a particular officer. Those matters will be referred to the National Executive Committee. Okay. Plus of reason of why a region want to act, but not the case. I also do believe that the Regional Executive Committee took a...
All right, we're losing Mustafa there, but this is still the Joy News Prime. We'll take a quick break here. We'll be back with more. Please don't go away. Welcome back from the break. Now, preliminary data gathered by researchers show that commuters are unknowingly breathing in toxic air during rush hours. As they navigated the daily grind, crowding into public transport vehicles and inching through traffic, they are exposed to harmful pollutants. Clean Air Beat reporter Michael Ashley explores the alarming impact of air pollution on commuters in today's episode.
Factor for death. This shocking data comes from a UNICEF-backed report in collaboration with the Health Effects Institute. The numbers reveal a grim reality. In 2021, air pollution killed 8.1 million people, translating to about 22,192 deaths every day. Even more heartbreaking, one child dies every minute due to air pollution.
The statistics are stark. The last report that was released on the state of global air quality showed that there were a little over 7 million deaths from air pollution-related diseases.
The biggest culprit is Ghana's aging, highly polluting fleet of vehicles. A sea of cars crawl bumper to bumper, thickening the air with harmful particles and gases. It's rush hour, a bustling time when everyone is on the move, crowding into public transport vehicles to reach their destinations. For those navigating this daily ordeal, the respiratory strain is palpable, with each breath laden with potential health risk.
It's not easy. It's a difficult moment, especially something that relates to your breath. You can't breathe as you do so often. It's challenging breathing.
Reuben Alexander Otu has asthma, a life-threatening illness that constricts airways. He's one of a growing number of Ghanaians with respiratory illness and a range of ailments, including heart conditions that doctors say are worsened by toxic air. Otu has to think all day, every day about avoiding triggers.
You encounter different kind of cars with the smoke from their exhaust pipes, very bad, and they are not the best.
70% of daily commuters in Ghana use privately run minibuses known as trotros, which are often older, higher emitting vehicles.
We give it to them to wear. Okay. The idea is to wear to where their nose level is. Okay. Just to see whether what they are breathing in will be the same as the Satan is speaking.
Researchers at AfriSet, an air quality research organization, are studying commuter exposure during rush hours using wearable mobile sensors. The preliminary results, according to James Nimo, a research associate at AfriSet, are startling.
From the raw, we could see that people are exposed to poor air quality, I think from 40 milligram per meter cubic to 100 milligram per meter cubic, which is above the Ghana EPA standard. So rush hours are around 80 milligram per meter cubic, which is not good for human health. So from the graph, you could see that from between 6 and 10, we have some peaks. Between 6 and 10, we have some values, the peaks, right? Peaks above that, and then in the evening, right, it can go up to almost 100 milligram per meter cube.
Ghana's transport sector, made up of 3.2 million vehicles as of 2022, is the leading producer of air pollution. Pollutants from the transport sector alone account for nearly 40% of the country's air pollution, dwarfing the contributions from industries at 11% and households at 10%.
I do not get a straight car to work, and I don't have a car at the moment. What I do is that I join one car to Kaneshi, then from Kaneshi I join another vehicle from Kaneshi to my station, then just a walking distance to my office.
Chief reporter at Ghana News Agency, Edward Aqua, was among the few volunteers on the project, documenting his daily commute from Abelinkpe to Accra Central. According to sensor data, pollution levels range from moderate to unhealthy for sensitive groups on average. However, during several segments of the trip, the pollution spiked to severely polluted, posing risks even to healthy individuals. Edward admits to feeling a deep sense of helplessness after witnessing these alarming results firsthand.
It was very disturbing because that is something that invariably I find myself in that way because that is my natural environment. And it appears that apart from you protecting yourself personally by way of nose mask, you cannot do anything much to stop the pollution because it's your natural environment, your natural routine. For me, it's very, very disturbing because it's a daily thing and you cannot go without it.
The WHO estimates 28,000 people die prematurely every year in Ghana as a result of air pollution. Between 2020 and 2023, the Ghana Health Service's own non-communicable diseases control program documented over 230,000 new cases of asthma. Epidemiologist at the University of Ghana, Dr. Reginald Kwanzaa knows why.
Air pollution levels are consistently moving up. There are several factors that account for this. I think one of the things that is very obvious is emissions from vehicles.
The good news is that there are things people can do to reduce their exposure. Dr. Carlos says the easiest is to wear a good mask.
Within the limitations of some of these protective equipment like the respirators, the N95, at least you can reduce the black carbon and then other particulate emissions.
Desmond Appiah, country lead of Clean Air Fund, insists that enforcing air pollution laws is essential to protect ordinary Ghanaians.
In the Ghana situation, we have some laws, but there's a lot more that we need to be doing to be able to push the needle. The challenge, large challenge that the clean air field faces is that the quality of the air is not seen. So we call it like a silent killer. We are in a room, we are breathing air, but we may not see that this is the state of the quality.
AfriSet, led by Dr. Alison Felix Hughes, plans to conduct extensive research across diverse socio-economic backgrounds and geographic locations to identify environmental hotspots nationwide.
Looking at the future, what we intend to do is to do a more detailed study over a longer period, looking at different groups of persons, students, workers, market women, and different groups, how the level of exposure is to these various groups as they move to and fro every day.
The EPA and other government agencies, including Parliament, are actively exploring various regulations aimed at strengthening air quality laws. This story was a collaboration with New Narratives. Funding was provided by the Clean Air Fund, which had no say in the content of the story. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
Well, the Ghana Senior High School now holds the bragging rights as the winners of that competition up north. Now, you know that the NSMQ has been going on in the regionals. Now, the new champions of the Goal PLC Northern Zonal champions is the Ghanasco. And now, they've in the dramatic event for academic supremacy, the school beat their city rivals Tamale SHS and Upper West St. Francis Xavier Seminary to clinch the ultimate title. Emmanuel Bright Kwaku reports from Tamale.
They have definitely led and they have won the Northern Zonal Championship for the first time, beating their own city rivals, Tamale SHS and also St. Francis Xavier, to make history for their school. I want to find out from their teacher. I said I saw you crying when they said you won.
I was a little bit emotional because we have struggled. We have trained our students very hard for years trying to win the contest. Through hard work, dedication, 9th, 11 p.m. we are still in school with our colleague teachers. Yesterday we couldn't even sleep. And God willing, we are able to win it. So I was very, very emotional, thankful to God, coming to all my colleagues and the students with us, and our headmaster and the entire school.
Now let me find out from the students quickly. You are engaged earlier and you were telling me they were only lizards. Are you sure you met the lizards today?
Definitely, because we have won the contest. And to whom what is given to you by God, no matter whoever call themselves lions or goats or whatever they call themselves, they cannot do it. Because this year is our year. And we are not only going to qualify, take the regional champions, but we are going to take the nationals. This year, we, Ghana Senior High School, is going to represent the whole Ghana. And we are going to be the national science and maths with goats from now onwards.
Now, let me find out from you also, what does this mean to you?
Oh.
First of all, I would like to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for bringing us here safely and winning this contest safely. As we already said to you yesterday, we told you as and now all the lions, they are all gone. They are left with what? Lizards. Today we saw that, we said we are going to what? Kill and bury. And you could see that they were buried. But deeply buried. And this is not the end. We are going to work on our mistakes and come back stronger at the national level.
Yes, even though in the first semi-final contest we lost with the highest point, we talked to our students, and then we came back to the finals. We met the school that actually won our semi-final contest, and yet we have been able to gain victory over them. So we are going back. It is not over until it is over. We are going back, going to prepare adequately. We are going to work assiduously so that when we come for the national, we will give whichever school we give a very good match, a very good run for their money.
All right. These are the students and teachers of Ghana SHS, and they have won the Northern Zonal Championship of the Goyle PLC National Science and Math Quiz. Well, they met their own city rivals, Tamale SHS and also St. Francis Xavier, all the way from the Upper West region. And they are now the new champions. They hold the bragging rights here in the Northern region, and no one can take it from them. And so these are the students and teachers from Ghana SHS. Reporting for Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Kwaku from Tamale.
All right, welcome back from the break. Let's do showbiz now. And you know what? Our Wisconsin lady, our Atlanta
ready.
Atlanta.
I'm ready. It's the weekend. It's the weekend. Let me give it to you freestyle.
Oh, yes. I want it.
Let me calm down for this. So we're talking.
But I thought you were going to start with that, your music, yeah.
No, I won't. Let's.
But people don't know you can sing that.
Grace.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get myself.
No, I'm in the mood, and I know you'll be in the mood, yeah.
Let's talk about Atongo Zimba, everybody, because he is in the news. He was on E-Vibes. He's still on E-Vibes. This weekend, you can catch Atongo Zimba's episode on Joy News and Joy Prime. He has been talking about how the Art Center had an impact on his career, and also spoke about lack of recognition in the music industry.
Zola sala get powine, Zola sala get powine, we Zola sala get powine. What memory I have is I came when Onipania died.
Okay.
I came here specially to play Onipania song, and people were on tears. That's the memory. Because those times once we were playing on the street, people couldn't understand the kind of things that I can do.
Right.
But we're celebrating Onipania exactly in this hall, and I came in and I just give them exactly Onipania voice. Because that is my man.
Right.
The man I've been moving in the market and everything together. So that's the memory I got in Anansi Krom.
Yeah.
This place, it is where everything used to happen. Concert bands, just name them. All happening here.
So when you moved from Nigeria, you came to Accra. This is one of the.
This was my place. I play. I play a lot here. Not always playing in the theater. I play for a lot of, because people didn't know you so much.
Yeah.
But when they now invited me to come and play for Onipania, that's when I got to know exactly. People got to know me. Like, this guy who exactly do the same thing. Because people couldn't value me. You know, everything has in time.
Right.
That people are going to recognize you, what you are capable to do. And this is a place that I showed them what I'm capable to do.
And today we're here. Do you feel celebrated enough? I know that question might be cliche, but you have celebrated, you just mentioned Nipenia.
Yes.
Mactonto. You served Mactonto.
Served Mactonto is my king, yes.
Fame. And you
Teddy Osei,
you recently performed at the 77th birthday party
with Ambule
and all of that. You're celebrating these people.
Yes.
Do you think that as a country we have projected and celebrated you enough?
Yeah, that is not happening a lot. It's not happening a lot. And but what I do is I celebrate myself.
How do you do that?
By just getting myself happy, and then the people celebrate me. When I go on street, when I walk on street, people are celebrating me. And that is enough for me. That is enough, you know. As Mojan said something, he said he never knew Ghanaians take him so high like that until he saw that they start to talk about him. All the time, he thinks they don't care what he do, but he already celebrates himself. But when they start to talk about him, he feels proud.
And you feel the same way?
I feel the same thing.
When you come to... Oh, okay. So they are telling you essentially to be there at the stadium. It's on the 30th on Sunday. Brace, you be there, right?
Exactly.
So another place that you can go to is the Football Award, the Ghana Football Awards. It's also happening at the Grand Arena. Wherever you are, if you can, please join our footballers so that we can honor them the way they deserve. Nathaniel Atto will be hosting that.
And another thing that will be happening tomorrow at the Accra International Conference Center is the Joy News Impact Makers Awards.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming up tomorrow, awarding 10 people who are doing extraordinary works in their various communities. So you'd want to be there as well.
We will be there, the Joy News Impact Awards. Also, when you go to +233, Kofi Kinata will be, for the first time, having his EP concert, the Kofi Okofi EP concert. Here is what to expect.
Wambumpa, kano qualify chila mumpa, kano qualify chila me. Abu, Kayambu, Nipayu. Oh, Ina, come on, go into my yemu. At the chain, Yawodia. Pawadi, Bajaja, Pawadi, Bajaja, Samana Mabu. Kayampu, Nipayu. Kayampa, Nipayu. Samana Mabu. Malampadi, Malampadi. Ejami fi energy la defia.
So tomorrow at +233, you should join Kofi Kinata. He's having his first ever EP concert happening there. Grace, that'll be all for the news this evening. Please remember to brush your teeth before you go to bed this evening. And tomorrow morning when you wake up from bed with either Pepsodent Cavity Fighter, Pepsodent Charcoal, Pepsodent Herbal, or Pepsodent Triple Protection, because with Pepsodent, every smile matters.
Yeah.
Are you done?
I'm not done.
Well, log on to myjoyonline.com. We're so grateful you could join us this week. We'll be back next week to do it all over again. Choose where you have to go. We have the Impact Makers Awards.
At the AICC.
We have the AICC. We have the Football Awards as well. We have +233. You've been set, everybody.
Ajay, Wakayampo.
Kayampu, Nipayu. Kayampa de Nipenye, Samana Mabu. Malam Paddy, Malam Paddy. Ejami fi energy la ni fi anyo Pensibi fama mumpe Kano qualify chila mumpe Pensibi fama mumpe Kano qualify chila me